This is Peter Morton interviewing his grandfather, Cyril Morton, who was born on October the 2nd, 1899. What was the biggest thing in your life?
Was undoubtedly that November day in 1918 when the First World War suddenly ended. It meant a license for me and millions of other teenagers that we could go on living and even grow up and see our 20th birthday. We weren't on our way to the official slaughterhouse after all. I don't think you can realize an ordinary Sutton Street in, say, 1917. Your neighbours have heard by telegrams from the War Office that their only son, not yet 19, has been killed in action. Over the road other neighbours are in dire suspense, having heard that their young son is reported missing, which means he has probably been blown to bits. 1 year you're in the 6th form. The next term they're adding your name to the list of honoured dead boys. The present generation can't imagine how death took toll of the youngsters. Our manpower was exhausted, and we teenagers were the last scrapings of manpower battle against the German host.
Well, we won and you were one of the lucky ones. I suppose you watched the drift war.
Yes, Germany and Britain were jealous of each other. They envied our big navy and did their best to catch up. Their Kaiser made silly speeches. He was Queen Victoria's grandson and first cousin to our King Edward VII.
Do you remember the Titanic?
Oh yes, I was about 12. She was supposed to be unsinkable. What I remember were the millionaires in their Astrakhan coats, puffing at their cigars while they waited to drown in the icy waters because the ship's boats couldn't all be lowered. Their millions of dollars couldn't buy them life, and they bravely went to their deaths. They said the Titanic was racing on this her maiden voyage, and Mr. Ismay, the director, had told them to go all out. It is a fact that he retired to his estates in Ireland and saw nobody for the rest of his life. Probably his heart was broken by the accusations.
I suppose there were other shipping disasters.
We, in the Morton family, had our own tragedy when my grandfather Gibson, master mariner, was drowned at sea, and his little sailing ship, a brigantine, was lost with all hands in the North Sea off Seaham Harbour. He would be your great-great-grandfather. He had been captain of steamers, then retired, and bought the little ship as a hobby. It set my mother against my going to sea in the Navy.
Did you kill any Germans when you were in the Navy?
Oh, only cooperatively. We sank a German submarine with our depth charges. They were like dustbins, set to explode at certain depths where you thought your U-boat was lurking. I was trained as a signalman and bore crossed flags as a badge on my arms. Our job was to herd merchant ships into what was called a convoy and escort them to the Mediterranean, then bring another lot back. The U-boats used to pick off 4 or 5 of our ships every voyage. They came near to starving us, and we nearly lost the war.
You were in London for the Second World War, weren't you, Grandad?
Yes, I was a senior newspaper man on the Daily Express. Your father was born that year, and I got him, your Uncle Kit, and Grandmother Morton up to a refuge house in North Wales to dodge the bombs. That was a load off my mind.
Did you get bombed, Grandad?
I'll say, but the Daily Express building was quite strong. When the raids were at their worst, there would be about 1,000 people killed in a single night in London alone. Thousands slept down the tubes on the platforms with their bedding, which got very frowsy. I slept in my office near my desk and telephone.
I forgot to ask you about Lord Kitchener. Do you remember that?
Oh yes, he was secretly on his way to Russia in a cruiser to persuade the Russians not to crack. But he never got there, and the Russian army did crack, bringing Lenin and other Bolsheviks to power. Apart from the discovery of flying and the splitting of the atom, I think that's the biggest event in my time. I've seen radio and television. You'll see a lot more. But now I'm feeling tired, so no more questions, please. After all, you've been interviewing a Victorian, somebody 71 years older than yourself. Thanks for the compliment, and good luck to Whitgift.
Fine. Good.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it, or some of it.